What if the biggest breakthrough in robotics is not the robot itself, but the time you save building it? You just hit play on 10-minute Tech Talks, business insights, and growth hacks for the time-crunched entrepreneur. I'm your host, Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council and Tech Vibe Radio. And in today's episode of 10-minute Tech Talks, I sat down with Bob Rada and Dave Rawlinson of Hebi Robotics, and they explained how modular design can help engineers move faster, cut development friction, and avoid reinventing the wheel, while also showing how that same approach is opening doors for applications in industry and even space. So let's jump in now with Bob and Dave's insights from Hebi Robotics. I mean, you're always working on new projects. What's some fun stuff in 2026 that has you kind of fired up?
You want to continue the NASA story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
cool.
kind of, you asked a question about NASA, and I went, kind of the old part of the story, and then didn't bring it back up. So,
Okay, well, let's go back to NASA.
Let's go back to NASA. So we have, one of the ways we've been keeping the lights on is we've been doing some what's called SBIR work, so Small Business Innovation Research grants that are sponsored by different government organizations, and the idea is to get small companies to create innovations that the government needs and hopefully has other commercial customers on the way, right? And so NASA, we have one with NASA where we finished a phase 1 to look at the feasibility of taking our actuators, which different groups at NASA, like I said, already use for prototyping, but start taking the steps of saying, okay, how could we make this suitable for flight? Like actually going into orbit, actually going to the moon. And the phase 1 is really just understanding, okay, what's involved with that, right?
Exactly.
Just a bunch of learning. And then the phase 2 is actually going to start to prototype some hardware that will hopefully end in like a demo in orbit.
That's what I want to hear.
It's
Demo in orbit.
Exactly. So
that's on your next shirt.
Yeah.
Demo in orbit.
Demo in orbit.
Yeah.
And think about the big picture here. Again, our mission is to make it easier to build robots. And so that fits into the whole picture. So NASA uses our system terrestrially to try things out, create
Seriously.
robots.
Yeah.
Now that same code, that same design can transition, just take a different Lego.
You can keep using it.
Yeah.
You can keep, it's like having your Lego set as a kid.
Yes.
You buy new sets, but you can still use the old ones and you build from them and
Take
everything.
that same
like
design
that.
to build it with a different Lego. Now it can be used in space. That's the
I'm
whole
loving this
idea.
Lego analogy, man.
And it's
making
all
me
about
nostalgic.
And
Yes.
it's all about saving time, right? Like speeding up that integration, speeding up that development. Because even when you look at things like spacecraft, right? Even systems that are incredibly, costly, like, they just a ton in the hardware there. Most of the cost of the actual project is actually people's time, right? Time spent doing it. Like it's
and
still
you address that problem directly because here's the part. It's
especially,
you don't have to invent this.
Particularly
It's been
these one-off
You can
missions,
use
right?
it.
Like sending a rover, like all these cutting edge things where NASA's making one of something. Maybe they'll make 2 or 3 of something.
Yeah.
It's saving people's time and, saving time and still delivering something that you're extremely confident in will work.
Well,
So that's why they're interested in getting this technology, something they can move to the next step.
What gets me really excited about this is you think about I'm so happy that the United States is once again really wanting to put stuff into space. I think about companies like Astrobotic here. I mean, we're going to need so many robots. It's not even funny. We're going to be doing these things like actually making this leap to Mars, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to the moon first. All this requires robots at the end of the day and automation and pieces. And so I'm like, man, you guys are ready to go. And you have this case where it's we have these parts. You don't need to reinvent it. You can save probably millions of dollars on this project because we've done that for you and we can sell it to you for a fraction of the cost.
One of the most interesting events I've gone to in the past couple of years was an event put on by NASA called Space Logistics.
Okay.
It's basically a couple of days of experts talking about what we need to build in space to support all the things we want to do. It's mind-boggling. You think about all the moving parts here on Earth.
Right.
To get things where they need to go, supplies, electricity. Okay, now we need to do all these things in space, and it's a blank slate. It's mind-boggling to think about all the things that need to be built. And so that's super exciting for us. Think about all the different automation, all the different possibilities.
Yes.
And here, our job is to make it easier to build those things. So we think it's exciting.
It's looking really, really good. And that's why I'm so excited to have you here today. So I go back to one of the first times I met with you, Bob. We were shooting some war stories about some of the things you had done with various robots testing and stuff like that. I remember one time you had a robot, I think that went into the Allegheny River and it didn't quite make it out.
Not
immediately.
immediately.
It was an expensive robot as well, too. I remember you telling me something about you found a dive team and you gave them a case of beer and they went in and they brought it out. And when it came out, it seemed like it was pretty good shape. You said it was missing a key part. I think it was a googly eye. So tell me about your fascination with googly eyes and why all robots must have googly eyes for crying out loud.
Yes. I guess that's just a thing that I don't know if it started at CMU or what, but it's not a robot till it has a googly eye.
It's definitely a thing people do at aiming, right? Sometimes we're not like designers, so a lot of times you can't tell what end of the robot is the front really easily. So putting googly eyes
got to find a head on it somewhere,
it
right?
does help you know which end is the forward. And yeah, like it's a good way of. I feel like it is. Turns out it has walked the balance of like adding a little bit of fun without people not taking it too unseriously.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of that right balance that seems to people. Okay, these people are cool, but the robot is still like the real thing.
Exactly right. No, I think that's like the perfect like Hebi touch to put on the serious stuff that you have, put a touch of whimsy on it just to be like, yeah, man.
And the googly eye that was still on that robot was pretty waterlogged.
Was it? Yeah.
It was sad
The
looking.
pupil was way at the bottom.
There was some retinal detachment or something. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you retrieved the robot and dried it out, but you put it like in a big bag of rice, like shake it up. Like
The robot worked.
It's fun. We
The
still use
robot
that
was
robot.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Spend a few days in the Allegheny River. And
Bob comes in, he's like, what, new demo loaner or something we need to put out. And he's like,
was all good.
what treadies do we have? It's like, well, we got Allegheny treadie. It looks a little rough, but it still works.
Yeah.
Good thing it didn't fall into the Monongahela. It would have been a whole other story.
Well, we didn't know what the thing was going to stop. I thought it could be in Cincinnati.
Oh,
But fortunately, that scuba team that we found, for some Hebi t-shirts and a case of Iron City, they had some fun looking for the robot and brought it back out. Googly eye.
That's the kind of story I absolutely love.
Yeah.
To me, that just brings it home for me.
That's a great lesson for entrepreneurs. The value of your product is not always just what it does, but how much friction it removes for the people using it. Hebi's approach is a reminder that saving time, reducing complexity, and building with confidence can be a real competitive edge. Check out my entire Tech Vibe interview with Hebi by clicking on the link in the description, and I'll see you on the next one.